What if I told you there's a neighborhood in Boston where property values jumped over 12% in just the last year? I'm not talking about the South End, not Cambridge, somewhere most people drive right past without even having a second thought. I'm about to show you 5 developments that are quietly reshaping Boston's real estate map, and if you miss this window, you'll be kicking yourself in a few years. Look, everyone knows Boston real estate is expensive. But what most people don't know is that there's a whole other game being played right now. While buyers are fighting over $800,000 condos in Southie, smart investors are positioning themselves in areas that are about to explode. I'm talking about massive construction projects that most people don't even know are happening. Areas that are getting game-changing updates that make them way more desirable. The opportunity is now while most people are still sleeping on these areas, especially number 5 on my list, which isn't even a building. It's a rule change that could potentially double what your property is worth just because the city says you can now build more on it. I'm Kimberlee Meserve, and I've been helping people for the last decade buy, sell, and invest in real estate in the greater Boston area. Today, I'm sharing exactly where the smart money is moving right now and why these 5 developments could be your ticket to building real wealth in Boston real estate. Let's start with something that sounds impossible but is happening right now. They're building an entire neighborhood over the Mass Pike. I know everyone has seen the construction over the last few years for the Car Gurus building and the new Citizen M, but that project is actually way bigger than that. Right now, Fenway Center, as this project is known, is moving into phase 2 with a massive expansion at 75 Brookline Ave. This project is going to add another 1 million square feet of space that is literally floating over the pike. We're talking about cutting-edge life science labs, office space for biotech companies, and outdoor terraces, all built on air rights above one of Boston's busiest highways. Here's why this is huge. Phase 2 is specifically designed for life sciences and lab spaces just because of how close it is to Longwood Medical Area and Boston University. This means more high-paying biotech jobs are moving into this exact location. Plus, it's connecting 2 of Boston's most valuable neighborhoods for the first time ever. So get this, since Fenway Center first broke ground in 2018, property values in the neighborhood have gone up 43%. 43%. But here's what most people are missing. There are still buildings in the area that haven't caught up to this new reality. I just walked a client through a condo building the other day where units in this building are still priced like 2022. This isn't going to last long, and the play here is actually really simple. Anything walkable to Fenway Center is getting a massive upgrade, and you can still get in before the completion of this project. Number 2 is creating something Boston hasn't seen in decades. Master planned community style housing with single family options and a reasonable commute. Union Point is taking 1,400 acres of old military land in South Weymouth and turning it into what I call a suburban paradise with city access. We're talking 4,000 new homes, a full town center, parks everywhere, and direct commuter rail access to downtown Boston. But here's what's really exciting. They just announced 600,000 square feet of commercial interest. Large format retail, grocers, fitness facilities. This is starting to shift from just being a residential community to a real mixed use community. I think this project is really special. Union Point is creating something that Boston hasn't seen in decades. A master planned community with real affordability. You're getting new construction within a 30-minute train ride to downtown, plus now major commercial coming in. There's gonna be jobs, amenities, everything that you need right where you live. And this is positioning themselves as a solution for families who want space but can't afford the $1 million price tags closer to the city. There's so much value still in Weymouth, and I've heard that the school system is making a big effort to improve. So I see this as a huge opportunity for people that get in at the right time. It gets better because the state just approved a $2.6 million Mass Works grant for infrastructure design with $35 million total expected over 4 years. They wouldn't be putting that kind of effort and money into a project if they really didn't believe in it. I've shown properties in the first phase of this project to buyers, and they're really beautiful. It's something that we don't see too often in the area, It feels very much like you're buying into a community more in Florida or somewhere in the South. And I definitely can see that appealing to certain buyers that are looking for that kind of feeling that isn't really offered that much around here. Here's the insider move. They're about to start horizontal construction on roads and utilities of this new phase at the end of this year, 2025, with buildings expected to start breaking ground in early 2026. The state is backing this with serious money, and the commercial interest is way beyond what anybody expected. So if you're thinking about investing here, focus on anything near the train station or the planned town center. Those properties are going to be gold when this community is fully built out. This next one proves that sometimes the biggest opportunities come from the most unexpected places. Boston Legacy FC just dropped $27 million on a 30,000 square foot professional soccer training facility in Brockton, of all places. 24 acres, 6 pro-level fields, medical facilities, headquarters. This is serious money going into this area that most people ignore. When professional sports organizations invest $27 million somewhere, they've really done their homework. They're not just betting on today, they're betting on the next decade. And right now, the bet they're placing is on Brockton. Well, here's what's crazy. You can still buy a 3-family home in Brockton for under $800,000. That same property in Quincy would be at least $1 million, and in Somerville, easily $1.5 million. But if you're taking the train, the commute times really aren't too different. The key is getting in before everyone else realizes what's happening. Professional sports facilities don't just bring jobs, they bring community pride, infrastructure improvements, and economic development. All of that translates to property values. Okay, before I reveal the final 2 developments on my list, I want to make sure you have all of the tools you need to act on this information. Head on over to our Boston Street Pulse website, where you can find area guides for each of the locations we talked about today. Those guides will give you more insight on the schools, community, and real estate markets. You can grab those on all of these locations, plus everywhere else around the greater Boston area for free on bostonstreetpulse.com. It's gonna save you months of research and help you avoid expensive mistakes that most people make in this market. Now let's talk about the development that's transforming downtown Boston. Number 4 on my list isn't just one project, it's a new movement that's quietly revolutionizing downtown Boston. All over downtown, old office buildings are becoming apartment buildings. This city is fast-tracking these kind of conversions because they solve 2 problems at once: not enough housing and a downtown area that dies after 6 p.m. Think about what downtown Boston becomes when people actually live there. Restaurants will stay open later, new businesses move in, the whole area gets more energy and becomes more valuable. Perfect example here, 1618 Holly Street just got approved to convert office units into 110 apartments. And these aren't going to be luxury properties at luxury prices, they're competitive with suburbs that require longer commutes. Meanwhile, retail spaces nearby are seeing increased foot traffic and rising rents. Here's the play. Any retail or mixed-use property near these conversions is about to become more valuable. More residents means more customers, higher rents, better business. I'm tracking a few different conversion projects right now, and properties within a few blocks are already showing increased activity. The smart money is buying near the conversion sites before the residential units are even finished. By the time that people are actually living there and the area transforms, you've already captured the appreciation. And now, number 5, the one I said could be the biggest opportunity I've seen in a really long time. The city just launched something called Squares and Streets. It's a big zoning movement that they're piloting in Roslindale. I know it sounds boring, but this policy change allows more density, mixed-use development, and basically makes it easier to build the kind of neighborhoods people actually want to live in. Roslindale was already one of Boston's best-kept secrets. It's been quietly popping off compared to some other neighborhoods, with appreciation in the last year hitting 12.6%. Great community, good transit, still affordable. But the old zoning was preventing it from reaching its potential, so this new policy unlocks a lot of that. If you own a home within the Squares and Streets zoning district, the value of those properties instantly increases because it allows for as-of-right multifamily housing. To put it simply, the land becomes way more valuable because there's more you can do with it from a development perspective. But here's the bigger picture. like I said, if this pilot works, and all signs say it will, this zoning approach is actually going to roll out over other neighborhoods across the city. They're already working on a plan for Cleary Square and Hyde Park, but it's not effective yet, like in Roslindale. The play here is to identify neighborhoods that would be good candidates for this zoning and get in before the policy changes arrive. This is advanced level investing. You really have to understand how policy creates value and position yourself accordingly. And Roslindale is just the beginning for this. So there you have it. 5 developments that are reshaping Boston real estate right now. From the impossible engineering of Fenway Center to the suburban paradise of Union Point. From Brockton's professional sports catalyst to downtown's residential revolution and the policy change in Roslindale that could hopefully spread citywide. The common thread here is that these are all opportunities that exist right now, today. While most people are still focused on the same expensive neighborhoods that everyone talks about, the smart money isn't chasing yesterday's hot markets, it's positioning for tomorrow's. But knowing about these developments is just step one. The real skill here is knowing how to evaluate them, how to time your moves, and how to avoid the costly mistakes that trip up most investors. If you're not sure where to start, my team and I would love to help you out. Reach out to me at info@streetpropertyteam.com to set up a complimentary call. And make sure to check out my next video on how to outsmart the Boston housing market in 2025. I'll show you the specific strategies, timing considerations, and analysis techniques that separate successful investors from everyone else. Click the link on the screen right now to watch that video or check the description below. And if you want to stay ahead of Boston's changing real estate landscape, make sure to hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.